Hey guys, in today's video we're going to be checking out the new Justice League action. This is Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is just shy of 5 inches. He's about 4 3/4 of an inch tall. Gets himself a couple of accessories, one of which being a backpack that kind of looks something more similar to what we got with Blue Beetle. Just kind of has a very insect look design to it. It's this cast in black plastic. There's a hole on the end to hold his blaster, and then there's a peg on the inside to attach to his back. So we just go ahead and grab the figure, spin it around. Doesn't really say which way you could put it, but you could really put it either way. And that just plugs into the back like so. Just really by virtue of the way that the arms, I keep wanting to call these arms, but the way that they bend forward, it does automatically seem to want to push his arms forward as well, and it kind of restricts a little bit of motions that you can do with the arms. Then he also comes, let me just get him to stand here. He also comes with what I can only describe as a kryptonite sort of gun, or just a giant blaster. It has this little missile, and I want to use the term missile very loosely. It's small, and it's friction fired. In other words, you put it into the bottom here, and it slides just into that little slot. Snap it in, and there's no button to fire it. There's no button to trigger it. So in order to fire it, you literally just have to put your thumb or finger against the bottom tab and just push it out from the actual cylinder that it's sitting inside, and it fires off that way. So much so, it doesn't fire that far, but just seemed to manage to fire onto my floor. Just pick that up. There we go. One thing I want to mention, though, it's just a kind of little thing I noticed. If you look at the packaging, and you look at the blaster, it's facing the wrong way. Now you're thinking, hold on a second, you just need to flip it around. Okay, we'll flip it around. You'll notice that the tab point is actually on the bottom rather than the top. I don't know why they chose to go this route, but it's a little bit different than what we ended up getting here in the physical. Now you can go ahead and take the blaster, and it just tabs onto his back like so. But you can see it takes a figure that already had difficulty standing, and it makes it even more difficult to the point where he really can't. He can't hold it on his backpack or on his back armor here without toppling the figure over. There's really no other ways to, from what I can see, that you can tab it into place other than that one area. You can fit it into his hand, but it would be the same problem that his backpack would have. It's way too big, and standing him down, it's only by sheer luck I was able to get him to stand initially. You have to kind of lean the figure slightly back. But yeah, you'll see he'll still want to topple over. So it's okay as it's just a giant gun, but it's way too big for the figure, and it definitely cannot fit on his back without having the figure topple over. We'll take this off as well. There we go. Really difficult to actually take off. Let's have a look at the Lex Luthor figure. Now the figure here is more gold than maybe the traditional green and black colors that Lex Luthor is accustomed to wearing. He's got like a little Luthor LexCorp logo on his chest. But the figure almost comes across a little on the bland side, just by the way he's using so much browns, kind of these gold brown colors, and the black. His face is okay, but it does suffer almost the same problem that Superman had. He's very squished. His face is very squished. His mouth is there, but you can barely make it out. At least the eyes have been done well enough, panel lined in, that you can make out the eyes, you can make out the eyebrows, but unfortunately the mouth almost gets very lost in the mix. Sculpted in ears on the sides, but again, he's got really just a really squished proportion, really squished profile on his face. The rest of the body is okay, and at least his head is of the proper size to the rest of his body. But I have to admit, in all honesty, the figure does come across a little on the bland side. Sure, yes, he's got a little bit of some extra sculpting on the back area here. So it's not just simply a smooth black costume. And he's got these little areas that all give the indication, of course, that he's wearing armor as opposed to just a fabric costume. Even like the areas around his arms, he's got little panel details that have been sculpted in there. But again, it just kind of comes across a little yawny for me. A little yawn, a little tiresome a little bit. Do like this. That's a nice touch. But again, there's not really a whole heck of a lot going on with this guy. His posability, his head is what appears to be on a ball joint, but the way that the head's been pegged into place, you're really not going to, you're not going to move the head any further up or further down. It just kind of stays there, and then you've got the rotation happening all the way around on the head. The joints, at least on the arms, allow those arms to move outward, but that's about as far out as you're going to get. The culprits really being these very boxy shoulder plates that prevent any sort of posability further out than this point right here. The arms rotate all the way around, yes, and you've also got the hinge in the elbow, sure. Those forearms rotate, and he has no articulation in the wrists. It's his waist swivel, right there, and the legs split outward, forward and back motion on the legs, a bend at the knee, and absolutely nothing when it comes to his ankles here. Because of the way that the plugs are the exact same size in his hands, the grip of his hands to the hole in his back, you can also makeshift a somewhat armored shield by using the backpack and have Luthor holding it. This also slightly gives him a little bit more stability in the fact that it compensates for the fact that he's holding a very heavy gun on the other side. That gun is absolutely ridiculous. It's way too big for this particular figure. I like that it's a neon green because it does look like a kryptonite sort of gun, but from a practical standpoint, there's no way Luthor would be able to wield a gun that size. This figure is okay, which I'm sure resonated over the course of this review. It's not something that I'm overly thrilled with, but again, I wanted to pick up a Lex Luthor, and it's based on the designs in the cartoon, so I can't really knock it for that. I'm still more a purist when it comes to Lex Luthor and his costume. And even though the gold is a nice touch, I would have much more preferred the vibrant green armor that he's worn in the past. Still a good pickup if you guys are picking up the Justice League action figures, although I don't think this is one of the better ones. If you see him on the pegs, say with the likes of Blue Beetle or Firestorm, I probably would pick up a Firestorm or Blue Beetle before I would have picked up this guy here. Today, though, we were having a look at the Justice League action Lex Luthor with an extremely large gun. There's no way anybody would be able to carry that. If you guys haven't had a chance yet to hit that little subscribe button down below, you're missing tons and tons of videos that are coming up onto this channel on a daily basis. Make sure you hit that little subscribe button down below. You'll never miss a beat when it comes to future videos. And of course, more videos will be coming your way soon, so stay tuned for those. Thanks for watching as you always do, guys. I'll see you guys next time.